Good afternoon. This is Derek Allensworth and Carl Gossel. We're coming from the 2015 Agritechnica Farm Show. We're going to visit with Jack today a little bit about strip till, and I'm going to visit a little bit about why Yetter Manufacturing is attending Agritechnica 2015 for the first time. Jack's doing a quick little interview about Yetter. We have a small booth here located in Building 11 for Yetter. This show is what the U.S. doesn't represent. Is the size is much bigger than what most U.S. farmers or manufacturers would have an understanding of how big this show is. And so first time here, it's been a good opportunity. We've worked with a local company to be able to be represented here. But real quick, Carl and I have had the opportunity to walk around the show. We probably have seen over 10 different manufacturers of strip till equipment. Not much, nobody else as far as representing the no-till or what we call here in the U.S. our vertical tillage. So it's a great opportunity for us as a company to be able to show that what we've been able to do over the years in no-till, strip till, and vertical tillage. So we've visited with several different companies. We've had good interest overall, but at the our ending, what we've learned is these countries still utilize a lot of plowing, their version of what they utilize for tillage, and strip till is a area where they are going to grow into. But there's still a lot of limitations to where they will not be able to utilize strip till because of small grains. And I don't know, Carl, if you have anything you want to add on small grains and strip till?
I myself moved over to the United States 30 years ago, and ever since I tried to figure out what's the most efficient way to produce a crop. And I started years ago strictly no-till or zero tillage, how they call it all over the world. And after committing a lot of mistakes, I finally came up, and adopted strip till on my farm. And ever since, I never looked back. That's the most economical system, and for the corn farmer in the Midwest, it's the most efficient way and without sacrificing yield. I have to say, if you have plans coming to the show here in Hanover, the Agritechnica, you must be very disappointed. This is just no-till or strip till is only a side show. Otherwise, you see tillage unlimited. The bigger, the better. And the number one tool is still the two-way or mobile plow with some kind of vertical tillage. I see it as a modified disc. And but if you would come to the show just to see no-till or strip till, you better go somewhere else, probably in the United States or New Zealand or you name it, maybe South America.
Well, they utilize small grains, and with small grains, there's a disease factor in the wheat, and so if they don't do tillage, then that shows up in their wheat. So that's probably the biggest thing we've heard overall that's going to limit strip till growth. The other thing is, there's a lot of biomass. A lot of the corn is cut for silage. It's not utilized as much for grain production as what we see in the U.S.
And I think that the word biomass is probably the key word. There's so much going for these energy or biogas production, particularly corn silage. You see all these choppers. They didn't exist 15 years ago, and since Europe, particularly Germany, has this energy policy, the farmers producing energy who is highly subsidized or guaranteed per kilowatt And so it's a no-brainer for a farmer to produce for guaranteed prices. And the other thing is we have to realize that the number one crop is wheat. And coming from a country on an area where we were able to produce 200 plus wheat, it's very difficult to do that, in zero tillage, unless you change your whole operation. But right now, it's so easy to go back to the mobile plow, and you know that too. Once you adapt zero tillage, you better. Number one thing is sell your plow and all your tillage equipment, as fast as you can. Otherwise, you always go back to the easy way. And I see it totally different, and it's just a policy of the EC or Germany about subsidized and guaranteed prices.
The only opportunity is if they are able to get subsidized for some reduced tillage. There's a lot of we had an opportunity to visit with the university here, and they're going to follow up with some good information on they've been doing a lot of work on strip till. They are identifying that there are some erosion concerns, but I still think it's going to go back to fighting what their main crop is. Corn is not their main crop, and to add the equipment to be able to do strip till for a small acreage, there's that added cost, and most of their equipment is all based around being able to raise wheat. So I think that's just some of the limiting factors, and it's been great for me and Carl to walk around and visit with some individuals and have individuals stop by our booth, and we see some opportunities in helping them with their grain crops and reducing some of the things that they do have challenges with, but we may have to modify some products just for this region. So.
It all boils down to economics. If the EU, for financial reason, eliminates all the subsidies, and they have zillions of subsidies, and the United States will do the same and give incentives for farmers to be more environmental friendly, I think then we can change and we can compete. But as long as they artificially prefer one area over another, we will never get anything, that makes more sense for the taxpayer. But